What's up, everybody? Welcome to SHQ NFT Gaming and Collectibles. I am Walking Keys, and this is
Gank.
that's Gank, ladies and gentlemen. We have a big show tonight, don't we, Gank?
Huge.
Our guest for this evening is the community manager for Splinterlands, and also probably the biggest or one of the biggest YouTubers and Twitch streamers for the game. We are honored to have him, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it to the stage, Bulldog1205.
Thank you for having me. It's gonna be fun to be here.
Awesome. Welcome to the show.
Talk about the new changes, man, to Splinterlands. It's a huge week. The new SPS rewards for battling for league battles, and wanted just to kind of get your perspective on how you think that's rolling out from like the company's view and your view, and because I know I'm excited about it. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. I know a lot of people are excited about the increased rewards. I'm probably most excited, honestly, about DEC going back to peg. That removing the DEC and allowing that to go back up. So I know it's not quite up there yet, but I think we'll get there. And hopefully, when SPS is added to guilds, we're going to see a lot of DEC burned in guilds. So well, at least that's what
I feel like it's definitely, it's not there yet, but man, what a week or two, DEC has had.
Nothing goes in a straight line.
A lot of the changes. So I would say the first half of this year was as a player, as like, it was kind of tough to just feel like it felt like the bots had taken over the game. In a lot of ways, it felt like the game was a little bit like out of control, and these changes over the last 2 months have been amazing. Like they have rejuvenated like all of my positivity in the game and my hope for like the just what the future is going to bring. Like, do you think a lot of the changes have been effective? The changes recently, like with SPS rewards, like how do you feel about like how much rewards are still going to bronze and silver? I saw that Aggie did say that he thought they were getting there's too much down there, and that he was going to put in a proposal or something to tweak that. But it definitely seemed to me like there wasn't enough reason for them to change what they're doing, as is today. So I was happy to see him say that. What's your thoughts on just in general?
I'm curious what changes because the big change still have to come. That's going to influence that is staking on
sure.
Players. So that's going to be a big swing. I feel like SPS has made it, especially with having those the SPS allocated per tier or per league in the chest has definitely made it so that Diamond Champion players are getting a higher percentage now than we were last week. And I'm not sure it's high enough yet, but it's still a swing in that direction. I'm happy
it was, but the one thing I think the reason it wasn't as big of a swing is because the other side of the coin that isn't separated, like the chest only really bumped up 30%, but the other side that's not separated bumped up 700%. As far as like the amount of, it went from $9,000 in DEC to $63,000 in SPS for the part that's not separated. So I think that counteracted a lot of the fact that the other side was separated, because that went from like 54,000 to like 65,000 or something like that, or 30%. It jumped up 30%. So I think that's the part where maybe he's going to look to tweak. Like if they separate that, or just put less, somehow just make it so that it's not as attractive of an ROI down there for these.
You just have to be careful if you separate it though, because that could backfire on you when you add SPS staking. Because
I personally think there should be virtually no rewards at bronze, because it is like it's so basic of a game conceptually, and it allows for bots to be programmed very easily to be like game theory optimal, because there's just not a lot of decisions to be made. And so I ended up starting an account and playing with a solid deck from 0 to trying to get to 300. And I mean, I was really even more surprised than I thought I would be with how tough it was to like string together a bunch of wins. It took me exactly 50 battles to break 300. I was like, wow. And I had like I had so much CP, like I had a ton of great cards. But it was just like they are very well oiled machines right now. And I just didn't like, I don't think that there should be that much focus on taking care of bronze. Like that should just be something people are passing through, no matter if you're a new player or old player or a human or a bot.
Well, I think I guess let me go back to the dividing the leagues up per the rewards up per league, because I want to hopefully I can articulate this. But if you I know, and I think it would be better right now if this was how it worked, but a lot of people want to see that, okay, bronze has its own reward SPS pool for direct battle rewards, and then silver has its own SPS pool for battle rewards. But when we introduce staking on players, it's going to change that a little bit, because you're going to get a percent of your reward shares based on the amount that's staked on you, and we don't know exactly what that formula is. But the problem would be then if you have a set pool for bronze and everybody's getting only a percent based on what's staked on them, well, then the bots basically don't have to stake anything. They can stake 1 SPS on them, and if everybody has 1 SPS on them, then they're still getting the same proportion. So then they're getting those rewards because you've set a set pool for bronze. Where if it's not grouped together, if those bronze accounts are only getting 1% of their reward shares, and your diamond and champion players are getting 90% of their reward shares, that funnels all of that up to them, and you're getting basically nothing at bronze, and it's all going up to those higher leagues. So it allows people who have staked SPS on them to then funnel those up instead of having bots that don't need a stake, because it's kind of like now where they don't need to have good cards because they're all playing themselves anyways.
I mean that does make sense, and I would just say that the reward for bronze should just be, even if that were the case, it should be nerfed. The aspect for bronze should be just nerfed massively anyway. So even if that's the case, it's not that much anyway. Like bronze, I feel like should just be an introduction to rewards to get you a taste of what is possible, not to like set up shop to like try to like just like dominate bronze. Like no one should be trying to dominate bronze or approaching it on mass scale, because the main reason I don't like this for bronze is because the new player experience becomes brutal, and that's the part where I feel like it's hard to calculate how many players we're turning away because they're playing this game, and it almost feels like they're submitting their team and then the computer is fixing it against them with this like crap team, but that beats them like 90% of the time. But it looks like it's not anything special, but they just keep losing and they can't understand why. And they're like, why would I put anything into this? Why would I put time or money into this game? And they find something they're better at.
And I guess personally, I would kind of rather see it go the other way. You say having bronze just being like an intro league that you kind of pass through, and then silver is kind of where your rewards start. And I understand, especially with the way the game's structured right now, because that's kind of how it doesn't take much to get to silver, even gold, right? You got players playing in gold with 1 BCX cards. I would rather see it so that players are playing in the league that they have cards for, so that if you have,
I would love that as well.
Like,
yep,
bronze is actually more competitive with, okay, like you can have a fully maxed out bronze deck, and you're playing in bronze, and maybe even getting decent rewards in bronze for playing with those cards that are actually bronze cards. And if you want to get to silver, you need actual silver level cards to go up there. And because right now I feel like it's very easy to get up to gold, because you can get up to 1 BCX cards, but then the jump from gold to diamond or gold to champion is so massive that it becomes hard to progress. That
And
there's
there
just not
definitely shouldn't be good rewards for anywhere where 1BCX cards are doing well. Like that should be the threshold. Like wherever that is, wherever we create that in the game, like why would we allow massive rewards be going to these 1BCX cards? Because that just kind of goes against the ethos of what is intended by Aggroed and Matt from day one. Like they always say like they'd rather one account be doing better than that same account spread out through multiple accounts. They want to incentivize combining cards. So yeah, so I mean, they've definitely taken a lot of good steps in the right direction over the last couple of months, and I'm hopeful that they're going to continue to do so. I didn't really mean to get into this, but you mentioned a different kind of bot.
Oh no,
it made me think of bots.
you're good. This is always
it's good conversation. It's good conversation.
I'd like to see like, okay, your 1BCX cards are playing in your bronze 3, and then you get to bronze 2, and you're seeing your cards they're kind of your mid-tier bronze cards, and then the bronze 1 you've got more of your leaderboard type players that have maxed out bronze deck and kind of progress like that throughout. So it's more of an even progression.
Yeah.
And allowing players to call it.
The basics of bronze though is what really, like from a like the +1 melee, the +1 magic, the +1 arrows, like that, it makes such a big effect at bronze, and that's what allows those 1BCX teams to figure out ways to win. And if you actually look at those squads, like they're actually putting out very similar teams all the time. They have like 2 or 3 teams that they cycle through, and they're all using basically the same combination of 1BCX cards. Like it's a blueprint out there, and that's why it's not really like that shouldn't be rewarded, period. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like that's just like gaming the game. And so like we shouldn't be incentivizing that. So hopefully whatever the tweaks are, I'm happy with the tweaks they've been making, and the overhaul of the system in general like 2 months ago was amazing. Like such a huge like change for them to just make, and it was the right change, like absolutely, but it was still a tough, massive change for them to make.
And they definitely want to incentivize leveling up cards and things. So I think you're going to see more things.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right with the staking part. Like part of the reason I hadn't given it any second thought until this week was because I actually thought staking was coming out simultaneously with the SPS rewards being replaced, and so like that's when I was like, oh, okay, how, then I had to start doing like some analysis to try to figure out like how this was going to pan out. But yeah, so the other thing Aggie was really mentioning was, I mean, he's been in Mav chat since last night, just hooting and hollering and telling people like, be ready, have
he's
your
excited.
SPS, have like get your dry powder ready. You're not going to have enough for everything that's coming out. So that's exciting. Like he was talking about the tower defense game, the Genesis, undisclosed project, and Rift Watchers. I think. Am I missing anything that he was mentioning? I mean,
I can't even keep track of what all he was
mentioning.
Yes,
I mean, it's definitely like a lot of stuff. And he's like, it's just going to keep coming out. Be ready. You've heard I'm telling you guys now.
License rewards. He was talking about those.
License
maybe
rewards,
starting next week.
Yeah, like Thursday or something. Yeah, totally. So that, I mean, he's back on like being the hype man. So that's definitely a good sign, because he took a little hiatus for a while and he seems to be like regaining his hype status. So that's definitely seems like to be another very positive sign that he's getting confident about something in the pipeline coming out.
Oh yeah, and I didn't even know there were. Well, I mean, I know they've got so many things that they're working on, but he said undisclosed project. I don't even know what that is. I want to know what's going on.
Thanks so much for watching. Here's a couple of videos for you to check out, and of course,
hit that like button and that subscribe button right next to it.
We appreciate you all.
We're having a good time.